Unfortunately, many of you may be able to relate to this video. The nice weather hits and you decide to pick up running. The miles are ramping up, you're feeling really good until all of a sudden you start developing pain along the front of your leg, along your shin bone. Dr. Madeline here at Forward Spine Center, and today I'm going to give you everything that you really need to know about shin splints, specifically medial tibial stress syndrome. This syndrome is, if you're looking at the leg, it's between the ankle and the knee joint, and it's pain along this medial side of this bone, specifically called your tibia. This occurs when there's a lot of friction, a lot of rubbing from the muscles onto the bone, combined with that repetitive stress of running, that repetitive loading, and it irritates that bone. So if you self-evaluate yourself, and you start rubbing along the shin bone, specifically that tibia along the medial side of it, and you're rubbing and you notice that there's an area specifically longer than 5 centimeters of irritation. It's not one focal point, it's not sharp in one area, but it's a whole area. That's highly indicative of this medial tibial stress syndrome. We may take a tuning fork to that area and we may vibrate that bone. That also kind of shakes that bone, vibrates it, and irritates it, also indicative of shin splints or this medial tibial stress syndrome. If you compress onto your heel, push down, and it's not painful, highly indicative. But if it is painful, that may also state that you may have a stress fracture. We may take you into hopping. Hopping is repetitive force onto that shin bone. That's also indicative of pain. If we are questioning that this may be stress fracture, we may refer you for an x-ray. Also, another big tool, another big sign is the pain gets worse with training. You're into your season. Yes, you're having some aches and pains, but if you continue to have this pain after 5 minutes of running or into practice, get evaluated. Let's further evaluate this. And don't always label this as growing pain. A British Journal of Sports Medicine looked at 56 other studies, and they did note that there's no association between growth and pain. So when a patient presents with pain, it's a sign of there's repetitive stress into this area. There's irritation, and it is a precursor of a potential bigger issue that may be coming down the road. Another big rule is the terrible twos. Too much, too fast. We've all been there. We decide to get up off the couch and we pick up running. We're into 6 miles in 1 week, and then we start having this pain. Too much, too fast. Slow down. So the number one treatment for shin splints is obviously decreasing the stress, decreasing the pain, the activity that's creating this irritation, resting, running outdoors. Running indoors, that indoor surfaces is harder. It doesn't mean that you have to stop training, but getting into maybe a pool workout, non-weight bearing, giving you a whole treatment plan that's allowing you to keep your cardiovascular system up, but without putting stress onto this area. And as a chiropractor who treats a lot of kids, also getting parents on board. Sometimes it's hard to even convince the parents, like they need to rest, they need to stop, but also getting them on board so they can be really big advocates with us to make sure that that patient does rest. And the big other thing is correcting the mechanical stress, is adjusting their pelvis, adjusting their hips, their ankle, their whole extremities, making sure that everything is moving. How's the mobility in the ankle joint? How's the mobility in the hips? Is there weakness in certain areas? Is there weakness in the hip abductors? Stretching the gastroc, the soleus, the tibia anterior, posterior, getting you doing some deadlifts, really coming up with that individualized treatment plan so you can get back to play as soon as possible. I may even put you in an orthotic short term because we want to get those toes strengthening faster, and sometimes putting you in an orthotic just compresses and braces you, but it also helps support that area so the area can heal a little bit faster. Compression bracing, acupuncture, anti-pronation taping. We have a whole list of things that we can do to treat this. But if you have any questions, if you unfortunately can relate to this video, please reach out. I would love to get you back to running, get you back to moving as soon as possible. Dr. Madeline here at Forward Spine Center. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your health journey.